Greetings, friends. Salutations from space and aloha from Earth. You know, I think the most important planet is consistently ignored or forgotten by astrologers. And of course, I'm speaking about planet Earth. So let's bring the tall tree into the scene as we also honor this Aquarius moon. This is baby Maya hanging out in daddy's seahorse pouch. So mom can sleep up there a little bit. I'm gonna take you over here, doubting that with the dawn's light, you'll be able to see, well, maybe Jupiter in the sky. Let's play this game. No, well, we can. We can still see Jupiter and Mars and Saturn. We can see the Eye of the Bull, Aldebaran, who Jupiter's been visiting. We can see Vega. Hey, baby, remember Vega? Yeah. Yeah. We can see Deneb. We can see Altair. And this is what we do. So, messages from the moon. First, I just want to love up on my partner. She's so close to this baby and consistent and connected as it has been from the inside, now on the outside. It's really cool for me to recently learn how baby will actually send messages to mom while breastfeeding to help mother's body receive the news of what baby needs through nutrients, etc. What's working, what's not. It's like another placenta, you know. And it's been really brilliant to watch that, and then, you know, challenging to find the ways that I can help support. So part of that is spending time with my baby in the early morn. That's become a practice of ours, unless I have a client in some time zone well ahead of my own, which means an early morning session, and I'm doing more of those. Then typically I'll take baby out for a star walk. Been around 4 in the morning that she gets strapped into this thing, and we just walk through the neighborhood and cover the head so she doesn't have to get blasted by the street lights. But then, you know, in the dark spaces, do one of these and bring the head out so she can receive the light of Jupiter right to her crown, or the light of Saturn or Mars. And, you know, sometimes I'll speak about this is who Saturn is, right? This is who Jupiter is, but I really don't need to speak, and it's been a really fun learning for me. I almost said experiment. This moon is in Aquarius, but she's just about to move into Pisces. More learning for me, remembrance, that as I engage with Vega, for example, had a session with a client and a friend yesterday who has been brought to Vega. And this is something in my curriculum as well in my life, like brought in to the Vega field. It's a very beautiful and powerful star anyway. So I was walking down the hill back to the house, and I'm just experiencing Vega, and they were stacked in such a way that Vega and Cygnus were in the same direction, and we're just kind of walking right towards them. I should say Vega and Deneb. And as I'm just kind of inhaling that, right, and I'm like moved to say something out loud and let the baby hear it. Like she's hearing with other facilities and faculties and ears, right? So I just need to experience it. And then as I do, she giggles in her sleep, right? As I contemplate the seed of life geometry, she, ooh, right? And so it's a really good reminder that baby is experiencing my field, and so she's experiencing what I'm experiencing, right? And well, certainly she and I haven't shared a placenta, or she and I aren't exchanging information while breastfeeding, right? We are sharing this field, and so I'm trying, when I'm in my contemplations, or especially when I'm selecting something to listen to while spending some time with her, to avoid, things that really kind of stimulate my anger response or fear response. Though, of course, she'll be learning those things too. And it's hard not to be in that space, given the signs of the time and the way of the world. But really trying to put things on that stimulate wonder and awe in my heart. And when I do, it's just really beautiful to experience the feedback. I mean, Maya's speaking much more in dream time than she does in waking time now, right? Which is a really, I think, important teaching reminder. And I'm not sure if that's how it is with all newborns, but I would expect so. That when safe, when held, when seen, and when, like, in that wonderful bed of the dream, we're just able to open up more, And so that's our job, and her mom is amazing at this, of just letting her be in a space where she's seen and respected and held and close and, warm and can rest and all of the things. And then when we're in that space, you get this feedback, She first smiled in her sleep. She, as I mentioned, is communicating, or at least expressing vocally more in her sleep. And so it's beautiful. Like, I'll listen to, Alan Watts, or people speaking about sacred geometry, or I'll just speak about sacred geometry and I don't have to say these words out loud, or I'll connect with the planets and I don't have to say out loud, baby, this is the Pleiades, this is a star you were named for, and Uranus and Mars have just danced there. I just experience it, and I try to align myself with the purest experience and expression of it. And the purest expression of that, it's wordless. I mean, actually, the words can really get in the way. And so, really inspired, as I often am, to reconnect to my learnings with, my communication with sacred geometry. Like, I feel like maybe there's a sacred geometry podcast that wants to be born, or certainly course, or sharing with other teachers about the wonders of of number in nature, and the way that numbers speak and have not only quantity but quality too, and how the study of space and shape and the study of creation through the act of creating really just kind of teaches us so much. Because, of all the things that I have so much wonder about, whether it be the astronomy, the harmony, the astrology, the number, the geometry, for me, it's the most pure. It's the one where, while it offers the opportunity to like go within, and even in that regard, do the shadow work and the like, it's just such a pure thread. And that's for me. I don't, I really would love to know what it is for you. What it is for you and your wondering and wandering that most brings you life. So another message for Mama Moon I wanted to share and just give some respect to. Hey, baby. We're just going to talk about how good Izzy was on that walk this morning. Here's Isabel. Izzy. Hi. Yeah, so we're out walking, and 4 a.m. I feel Izzy doesn't need a leash in the neighborhood. We rarely see a car, but we did this morning see 2 deer and a cat. Hi, honey. And while she was very tempted, she didn't run after any of them. And I'm very proud of you, Isabel. And it's been really cool to see the nanny instinct, the moon instinct awaken in Isabel, who I believe was born with the moon in Cancer, though she was certainly born with Mars and Aries. Weren't you? So that Aries Cancer square is a really intriguing one, and there's tension in it. There's tension, and I speak about this often, between kind of the cult of our culture, the language of our family and the like, the expectations of, our home and parentage and such, and the individuating spirit. But one of the places where we find resolution is through the activation of nurturing. And that's like a tricky space to be, right? So, the thing that baby is not going to coo and laugh and giggle about is if I turn on any of the social medias right now and just see all the blues and the reds, which gives us the blue. Makes us red sometimes. But when we have that kind of mother bear, papa bear focus, or the nanny dog that's awakening in Isabel, there's a way where those forces of protection and nurturing can play on the same team, right? Though, by the way, like, we can very much ride those forces into a place where we're just ripped apart. But, an interesting question is, well, where do they steer us? And the astrology might have an image to offer there. So, what in the zodiac, for example, is between 15 Aries and 15 Cancer on both sides? It's a wonderful way to play. And so, like, for me, again, like when I'm just contemplating the archetypes, for example, like astrology does not offer many opportunities in my astrology of just kind of purity and just pillar of light, right? There's always like, yeah, look at this beauty and let's look at the other side of that thing. But when I go to, and I feel like this is one of the beautiful kind of codes that lives inside the astrology, because astrology really is the rainbow bridge between astronomy and correspondences. And astronomy is number in space and time, and therefore it exists of number in time, harmony, and number in space. Geometry, when we go to the geometry, we can see some solutions, and we can see some new opportunities. Hi, honey. For holding the light. All right, well, baby's over all this talk. So it's time for me to just practice what I'm preaching here and hold her close and squeeze her little feet while I stare at Mama Moon and receive the teachings. Thanks for spending some time with me, friends. See you in space.